Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hickson. I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI and your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this Sunday afternoon. Uh, eventful week as it seems every week has been for Arizona State athletics since July or August. Arizona State baseball is closing out a series against West Virginia later this afternoon. The football program continues to go through spring practices and um, are preparing for the 2026 season right now. There were some pretty solid developments from yesterday's practice, which included Jake Hildebrand, Noah Roberts, and other top Arizona recruits in the 2027 class attending practice. That was pretty cool to see. And softball is doing very, very great right now. Uh, Golf is obviously always really good. Um, just a great time to be a fan of Arizona State. It still is a great time to be a fan of Arizona State. But there is one thing that might eventually halt all the momentum that has been built in Tempe over the last few years. And it unfortunately lies in the freshly minted head men's basketball coach and some unfortunate developments that have began to onset. I don't know too much about the circumstances as a whole, but I do want to talk about how it could impact Arizona State. And there is a real chance that uh, doesn't work out. Um, I hope it works out. I've been very, very big on this hire. I hope that all the concerns that are around right now get resolved and the Sun Devils are able to have a coach that can take them to the next level. We saw Bobby Hurley do it several times. He unlocked the potential that this program had, but several roadblocks kept it from fully being realized on a consistent basis. And now Randy Bennett has a chance to make that growth consistent, to reinvigorate a fan base that has been more or less disengaged for the last 6 years of this decade, for the most part at least. He gets to oversee the transition into the Big 12, the full transition. This was the first 2 seasons that we saw. Arizona State's going to get more and more ingrained in the Big 12 as the years go on, and Randy Bennett should be able to oversee it, but there's just so uh based off of things that I personally heard and reports that surfaced from Sun Devil sources Chris Cartman on Sunday that pretty much were roughly in the same estimate of things that I've been hearing whisper wise. Um, the health issue that Randy Bennett is going through right now, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to go into details at all. It's private and it should stay private. But it might end up being a concern. It's not something that I take pride in talking about. It's not an ideal or optimal situation, obviously, and I hope that it ends up working itself out and Coach Bennett is able to do the job to the best of his abilities. But um I haven't heard a peep from Arizona State since they postponed the introductory press conference for Coach Bennett, and that just I think you can put two and two together that whatever's going on isn't an ideal development. And how does that hamper Arizona State? So I don't think there's anything of the sort that's on the table about just retiring right now and leaving the head coaching position vacant. I don't think that's even considered to be a discussion right now. But if Coach Bennett isn't in the best health and isn't in the optimal position to coach to the best of his abilities, how will that impact Arizona State's program? Um, I don't know. I This is just a very uncomfortable conversation to have, so I'm just trying to gather my thoughts right now. Um, Bennett's 63 years old, so the age was always a concern. But when you talk to everybody associated with him, it seems to be an absolute negative concern from everybody that has been associated with him that's still in his inside circle and so on. Um, he's considered one of the hardest working guys in the industry. He works 20-hour days sometimes. He's up at 3 a.m. doing film study, uh, high energy, passionate about the sport. There are so many positives that go into Randy Bennett's favor, but right now, the focus undeniably has to be in getting him better, getting him feeling better. Everything else comes secondary, even though it's going to be very, very important for the upcoming Arizona State team to have the roster filled out by mid to late April. There's probably a time frame on that. Building out coaching staffs, going on the recruiting trail, all of that stuff is important, but it takes a backseat to Coach Bennett's overall health. And um, I personally don't think that it will end up being a long-term detriment. I don't, but I'm not going to rule anything out, I guess. And um, on a brighter note, the Uh, the women's basketball program is really set to take off next season. Head coach Molly Miller is going into year two, has become something of a local celebrity, and probably bringing back most of last year's team that didn't run out of eligibility. So you're probably going to see McKenna Bracken's back. You're going to see Deb Davenport. You're going to see Jaya Lovett. You're going to see Eloisa Carrera. You're going to see a lot of players that made an impact this past season, plus Ruby Whitehorn, plus other players from the transfer portal that are coming in, plus Avery Lower, uh, who is a four-star recruit in the 2026 class. There is a lot to be excited about for the women's basketball program, and I still think the men's basketball program deserves to garner intrigue as well, but we'll see how things progress in the weeks ahead. Ultimately, Arizona State athletics are still in a good position despite some concerns. Uh, that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider podcast. And I will see you with another episode tomorrow. Thank you so much.